Here's another video on the cloth vest that I got from AliExpress. They are actually meant for Mafex figures, but they fit Marvel Legends as well. And before I share about them, I just want to say that I did a slight mod in order to make it easier to swap it around. First, you have to hit and pop off the arms. But what I did, an extra step, is that I drilled the hole slightly bigger so that I can just actually pull it off and put it back on without having to always heat it up. And just doing it on one side is actually enough for you to take it off and slip it on. Same thing for the new Retro Scarlet Spider. There. It comes on and off easily and it still stays on firmly. It isn't loose or anything. So yeah, that's one slight mod that I did so that I can change the vest easily. And in my previous video, I shared about how I took off this original rubbery vest and also that I peeled off the hoodie for the Rhino Wave Scarlet Spider. And here's the back of the figure in case you're wondering. Totally red for the new Scarlet Spider and a big gap over here for the Rhino Wave Scarlet Spider. Now for the vest. These two are the ones that I shared in my previous video, and the one in the Ziploc bags are the new ones that I've just gotten. These three are about 15 USD each, and I got number 1 over here, which I didn't get the previous time. Number 2 and 3 are the ones that I used for the previous video. And these two are from a different listing. They are about 10 USD each. One is a torn version and the other isn't the torn version. Let me just get all of these out of the Ziploc bag. For the shade of blue, even between these 3 pieces from the same seller, they are all different. This is the brightest of them all. This one is kind of, I don't know, a bit darker than this. And this is kind of slightly the same shade, but the material used is slightly different. This material is kind of smooth compared to this one, which has those lines. Same goes for the bright blue version. This one, the cloth is really smooth as well. And one more difference is that I didn't realize for the number 1 over here, it doesn't have the string below the hoodie, just like how it is pictured in the listing. For these two, the shade of blue is the same, just that one is the torn version and the other isn't torn. And the shade of blue is slightly brighter than this and this one. Not as bright as this one though. Here's a closer look. A bit difficult to see in the video actually, but yeah, this is actually really clearly brighter compared to this one when you have both in hand side by side. The strap is also extremely long. I don't know why it is so long. I think I'll have to cut it off for this new vest. Here's the back of the vests. And these two vests from the different seller has the spider facing a different direction than the other 3. Now let's compare the torn versions on the Retro Scarlet Spider first. So to put the vest on, first remove the head, then remove the arms, bring the pack down and bring the other arm up and slot in the vest. The arm goes in first and then make sure the neck goes in there and just quickly pull this down the side and adjust all around. Yeah, there you have it. This is how the Retro Scarlet Spider looks like with the 2 torn vests. I think in terms of size, this version looks better. It doesn't look too tight. This new vest look kind of small on this body. I guess it is meant for Mafex, so yeah, putting it on the Retro Scarlet Spider body does make it seem just slightly small, kind of like tight fitting. I'm just going to cut off this strap. It's just simply too long. And in terms of the shape of the spider logo, I think the 15 USD version looks better and more comic accurate compared to the $10 version. And for the torn edges, I think the $10 one did it slightly better. The edges really does look like it's torn. But for this one, it looks kind of more like the work of a pair of scissors. But still not so bad though. Here's the back of the vest. The spider logos are facing a different direction for each of them. Stitching on the hoodie looks fine. I think the position of this spider logo should have been a bit higher, but overall it still doesn't look bad or anything from the back. And both of them have the bendable wire within the hoodie. And here they are with the hoodies up. Overall, I prefer the $15 version. Same thing when you want to remove the vest, just pop off the head, pop off the arms, lift up the arms, and this time round the pack, make sure it's facing up so that the cloth hoodie doesn't get stuck, and just quickly slide it out at one side. Yep. Here's the retro Scarlet Spider figure on the vests, which isn't torn, and this $15 version is longer than the $10 version. I've already cut the strap for this one. To me, both of the $15 version looks kind of slightly big on the retro Scarlet Spider figure. So I can't imagine having those two on the Mafex figure. It's really going to be oversized on it. This $10 version, however, really fits the retro Spidey nicely. It doesn't look big or small. The only downside is that the Spider logo isn't as accurate for this one. For this lighter blue version, it has a slight defect where the strap comes out from a slightly different position compared to the other side, so it isn't like symmetrical. This one is further up and it doesn't look as nice because of that. And also, like I've mentioned earlier on, it doesn't have the wired hoodie. This is the only one that doesn't have. I'm not sure if it's really an error from the seller or that this hoodie really doesn't come with a wired hoodie. If you're planning to get this lighter blue one, do PM the seller first to double check. And like I've shared earlier, this one doesn't have the strap coming out from the hoodie. Does it look weird or anything? What do you guys think? I think it still looks kind of okay, but I guess it just makes it slightly less comic accurate because in the comics, he does have the straps at the hoodie. The stitching on the $15 version looks quite okay, looks neat, but on this $10 version, the stitching is kind of like just okay, I guess. Could have been a bit better. It doesn't look so bad, but it doesn't look as good or neat as the $15 version. But overall, I guess still quite okay. The stitching even goes over the spider legs at this part. And here's the back view of the vest. The spider logo on the $10 version could have been a bit higher as well. And here's how the figure looks like with the hood up. I've shared in my previous video that because it doesn't have the wire at the hoodie, it's kind of like floating above the head for this light blue version. But for the other two, it looks fine. Out of these three, I think I like the size of these $10 versions the best. It doesn't look big and doesn't look as small as its torn counterpart. The only downside is that the spider logo isn't that accurate. But just because of the size, this would be my go-to vest for the non-torn version. Now here's a quick look for these vests on the Rhino Scarlet Spider. For the $15 version, it looks slightly big on the Rhino Wave Scarlet Spider. The $10 version fits this Spidey figure well. It doesn't look too big or too small. And for both of them, there is a slight gap at the side where you can see the inner part of the original vest slightly over here. Because the vest is kind of short, particularly at that area. And for this one, you can also see a slight exposure at the armpit area from a side view. No problem for the other side for both figures. Here's the back of the vest. And here's the Rhino Wave Scarlet Spider with the hoodie on. I think between these two torn versions, I prefer the $15 vest on the Rhino Wave Scarlet Spider. For the vests, which isn't torn, this one looks kind of slightly oversized on the Rhino Wave Scarlet Spider. For this one, it looks kind of slightly oversized, but at the same time looks kind of okay. And for this $10 vest, it is a perfect fit. Look at that, it really covers right up to the waist and it doesn't look oversized. It is just nice. And most importantly, it really covers up the ugly sculpt of the vest at the belt area, whereby there are grooves for the tubes at the belt. Here's a closer look. For the $15 version, it really gets folded at the waist area. Here's the back view. And here's the figure with the hood up. For this Rhino Wave Scarlet Spider, hands down, this vest is the best fit for the figure. So overall, this would be the two vests for these two Scarlet Spider figures. The $15 torn version for the Retro Wave Scarlet Spider and the $10 no tear version for the Rhino Wave Scarlet Spider. In terms of quality and stitching, all of them are pretty decent. They wouldn't tear easily or anything, but I would exercise caution when handling the one with the torn edges. And one last thing that I want to add is that the spider logo is actually kind of glued to the vest. It isn't fabric paint or anything. It is a separate piece which is glued to the vest, but it does stay on nicely. Links to all of the vests are in the description and also at the comment section. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button and check out the other reviews at my channel.